Voltron decks usually have to spend multiple turns suiting up, but what if your commander did it for free every single combat? That's exactly what the Invincible Iron Man does best. It turns every equipment in your hand into a potential upgrade, and once the armor starts stacking, your opponents start cracking. Hello true believers, I'm Full Harmonicon and welcome back to the channel. Today we're talking about billionaire playboy philanthropist and one of the strongest Voltron commanders we've seen in a while. It's time to suit up with the Invincible Iron Man. And if you love cheating out ridiculous equipment, assembling one massive creature, and one-shotting opponents with commander damage, this deck is for you. On the front, Tony Stark is a 1/3 human artificer hero with a great setup ability. For 1 mana and tap, you look at the top 4 cards of your library. You may reveal an artifact card from among them and put it into your hand. Put the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order. Then we can transform or cast him for 6 mana into the Invincible Iron Man, a 5/5 artifact human hero with flying and haste, with 1 ability. At the beginning of combat on your turn, you may put an artifact card from your hand onto the battlefield. If it's an equipment, attach it to the Invincible Iron Man. That ability is the entire reason we're here. We're not paying massive equip costs, we're not spending our whole turn suiting up, we're just moving to combat, dropping a huge artifact straight into play, and then immediately attaching it. If you enjoy synergy-focused commander breakdowns like this, hit that subscribe. There's a lot more on the way. The strategy here is super straightforward. First, we need to get our commander online, and protecting him is the key to our success. Then, we start assembling Voltron by cheating in crazy equipment and attaching them all to Iron Man. And finally, we win by dealing 21 commander damage to each opponent and deleting our opponents one at a time. So let's start with the big damage pieces, because I know that's what we all want to see first. Genji Glove gives Iron Man double strike, but it gives us multiple combat steps when the equipped creature attacks. That's multiple combat steps and multiple free equipment. If Iron Man has even the slightest buff, this can very quickly become a one-shot if we connect across all those combats. Adaptive Omni Tool is great because it gives Iron Man +X/+X, where X is our artifact count. And in this deck, that number can get silly very quickly. It also acts as card advantage by letting us look at the top 6 cards of our deck and keeping the best artifact revealed. Excalibur, Sword of Eden, turns Iron Man into a 15/5 with vigilance, which puts any opponent on a 2-turn clock. And because the Invincible Iron Man already has flying and haste, that pressure starts immediately. Aettir and Priwen might be one of the funniest cards to cheat in. It gives Iron Man +X/+X, where X is our life total. So if we're still sitting around 35 life and we put this in for free, that could easily be a commander damage kill in one swing. Yes please. Embercleave and Leyline Axe both provide a small buff, but the important part is that they grant double strike and trample. Embercleave has splash, which means we can use it as a surprise, and Leyline Axe can start on the battlefield for free if it's in our opening hand. Improvised Arsenal gives us +1/+0 for each artifact we control, which plays beautifully with our whole deck. Later in the game, we can even sink mana into it to make more copies of it, turning our board full of random artifacts into a huge damage boost. Thran Power Suit is so good here. It scales with each equipment attached to Iron Man, which is exactly what we're trying to do anyway. And it also gives Ward 2. That little bit of protection can make it really awkward for our opponents when they're trying to remove our commander. Mjölnir, Hammer of Thor, is one of the scariest cards in the deck. It deals 4 damage to a creature on entry, but more importantly, it doubles all damage Iron Man deals. That means every buff after this gets twice as dangerous. Now luckily, Iron Man already has flying, but we don't want some random 1/1 flying token completely ruining our day, so we still need Evasion. The Reaver Cleaver gives Iron Man Trample, but it also makes a pile of treasure tokens based on how much damage we deal. In a deck that can hit extremely hard, this can generate a huge amount of mana and help us keep rebuilding if the table answers our commander. Shadow Spear and Loxodon Warhammer both give us ways to trample over blockers, but they also provide lifelink, which is really important. Voltron decks paint massive targets on our backs, so gaining life while dealing damage helps us stay in the game. Sword of Vengeance and Haunted Cloak both give Iron Man Trample to push through damage, and Vigilance so he can block on the following turns. That might sound small, but when your commander is your main threat, being able to attack without leaving yourself completely open matters a lot. Batterbone and Batterskull do a similar job. They give us repeatable life gain opportunities, and once they're attached to Iron Man, every attack can undo the damage we've taken from the rest of the table. Basilisk Collar is a cheap way to get life gain online, and Butcher's Cleaver is great if we get to cheat it in, especially because we don't have to worry about the equip cost. Now, as fun as all these upgrades are, we have to protect Iron Man. If he keeps getting removed, the whole deck falls apart. Commander's Plate is excellent because it gives us protection from some of the greatest hits like Swords to Plowshare, Path to Exile, a lot of the black removal, and even the green artifact hate. Cauldron Complete gives us +5/+5 and a bunch of keywords, with First Strike, Trample, and Indestructible being the big ones. This is exactly the kind of expensive equipment we love cheating into play. Padeem Console of Innovation gives all our artifacts hexproof, which protects a huge amount of our board and can draw us cards if we control the biggest artifact. Swiftfoot Boots are simple but important. It stops people targeting our commander and helps keep the game plan moving. Mithril Coat is a really cool protection trick because it has flash and can make Iron Man indestructible at instant speed. And speaking of indestructible, Hammer of Nazan grants indestructible and lets us instantly attach equipment when they enter. Darksteel Plate is also indestructible, and it gives Iron Man indestructible too, making it a clean, reliable protection piece. Because we're in blue, we also get to run counter magic. These are here to stop board wipes, removal spells, and scary plays that would otherwise undo all of our hard work. For card draw, artifacts give us some really nice synergy. Armor Wars is a new card that can draw us a burst of cards based on our artifact count, while also nuking our opponent for the mana value of our biggest artifact later. Buster Sword gives Iron Man a small buff, draws us a card, and can help us cheat out even more value. Swordsman's Steel couldn't be a better fit. It draws cards for each equipment we have, but also makes Iron Man absolutely massive. Robe of the Archmagi attached to Iron Man can draw us a minimum of 5 cards when he connects, which is awesome for a Voltron deck. Uthras Researchcraft draws us cards whenever we cast an artifact spell, and later on it can become a huge flying threat on its own. Joyra, Weatherlight Captain, and Vidalcan Archmage are basically the same idea. Play an artifact, draw a card. And because this deck is packed with artifacts, they keep the engine running beautifully. One with the Machine normally draws us 6 cards with our commander out, and depending on our board, it could even grab us more. For interaction, besides the counter magic we've already spoken about, we have some artifact-based answers. Argentum Armor is awesome. It takes Iron Man up to an 11/11 and destroys a permanent every time the attached creature attacks. Ultima Weapon is similar, making Iron Man a 12/12, but it only destroys creatures when the attached creature attacks. Meteor Sword destroys a permanent when it enters and provides a small buff when attached, which makes it a really nice card to cheat in. We also run efficient removal like Pomify, Rapid Hybridization, Reality Shift, and Chaos Warp, because sometimes you just need a clean answer. For ramp, this deck only benefits from having more artifacts on the table. Sword of the Animus lets us grab a land whenever the attached creature attacks, which is exactly what we want to be doing anyway. Arc Reactor is super good here, and super flavorful. It comes down cheap and it taps for 3 mana, which helps us get to the expensive side of the deck. Crystal Skull Isu Spyglass is a mana rock that also lets us cast artifacts from the top of our deck. Enthusiastic Mechanaut and Ethereum Sculptor both count as artifacts and discount each artifact we play by 1, which adds up quickly. And of course, standard mana rocks like Soul Ring, Arcane Signet, and Talisman of Creativity are still excellent. And finally, a few lands to round things out. Plaza of Heroes gives us another way to protect our commander in a pinch. Seat of the Synod, Great Furnace, and Silver Bluff Bridge all increase our artifact count. Academy Ruins and Buried Ruin let us grab important artifacts back from the graveyard. Inventor's Fair can tutor an artifact to our hand. Rogue's Passage lets us sneak through a free attack when blockers are a problem. Glimmervoid and Spire of Industry help fix our colors while still caring about artifacts. Overall, the Invincible Iron Man is the equipment commander Izzet has been waiting for. He enables explosive Voltron turns by cheating artifacts straight into play. But like every Voltron deck, protecting your commander is everything. Fortunately, Blue gives us access to some of the best protection in the game. So if you can keep Iron Man on the battlefield, he is more than capable of taking over the game. Thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed this breakdown, leave a like, drop a comment, and subscribe for more synergy-based commander content. If you'd like to support the channel further and help vote on future videos, memberships are available. And hey, if you're picking up any of these cards, consider using my TCG Player affiliate link down below. And until next time, may all your upgrades be lethal.